Good evening, I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Last night at the annual ESPY Awards, LeBron James took to the stage, confirming his return for his 21st season in the league. James stated that he doesn't care how many more points he scores or what he can or cannot do on the floor. The leading scorer went on to distance himself from his prior wish to play on the same NBA team as his children, saying, quote, "They're on their own basketball journey, and no matter how far they choose to go, they're not cheating the game, and that inspires me," end quote. The troubles at Northwestern University continue, as after firing head coach Pat Fitzgerald on Monday, just within this past hour, they have fired baseball coach Jim Foster after he has spent one season with the team. The decision comes in wake of allegations corroborated by 9 members of the Northwestern program that Foster, quote, broke the spirit of the team by creating an environment riddled with his, quote, abusive behavior. Turning towards happenings here in Nebraska athletics, a total of 35 members of the NU track and field team have received USTF CCCA all-academic honors for the 2023 season. Additionally, both teams received the team award with at least a 3.0 cumulative GPA. The women posted a 3.621, while the men carried a 3.26 GPA this past year. All of the aforementioned athletes honored can be found on Huskers.com. And finally, in the NBA Summer League today, some finals from earlier. The Cavs held on against the Bulls 87-83, and the Hawks just outlasted the 76ers 99-98. Currently in action, the Nets lead the Raptors 83-81 with 4 minutes left in the fourth, and the Heat are up on the Bucks 66-45 at the end of the third. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon step throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to
baby.
The 35, to the 30. Rook tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Yes!
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's 2nd sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. It's our last live show of the week and the last night without Greg for a while. I mean, I was trying to think, Cole, the last time I saw Greg, and I actually went back and looked, I think it was June 26th. We haven't done a show together since June 26th, so he'll be back on Monday. But it feels like it's been forever since we've all been in the studio.
It has. But this is the time of year. Sports are kind of wound down. We're all trying to go see family, get some vacations in. But I think it was late June, and it's going to be, we've got a couple of more shows where we're, off and on with staff, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's the time of the year to get away. It just seems crazy that it's been so long. I feel like it's just been so forever since we've seen him, but he will be back on Monday, and we'll continue those coaches interviews that he does with those assistant coaches, breaking down the position groups with Nebraska football next week. So coming up on tonight's show, we have quite the educational show coming up for you. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said that first, because we have Cole's Joke of the Week coming up in hour number 2. That's not educational, but Cole's Joke of the Week returns. He was out last week, so he's back. He's going to try to go 2 for 3, because right now he's 1 for 2. So he's batting .500 right now. We need to see if you can go 2 for 3 to start this thing off coming up. That's in hour number 2. But now to the educational part of the show that you're going to be able to hear over the next couple of hours. We have another installment of the Husker Nutrition podcast that will be coming out, and we are going to sit down with Matt Matzner and Ron Luth, a couple of the sports dietitians and nutritionists that are on staff here with the performance nutrition staff. And I learn so much every time that we have these conversations. It's a lot of great information and a lot of tools that are being instilled in the Husker student athletes and a dietitian and nutritionist that's assigned to each sport, and so they can really dive in and give their full attention to those different athletes and teams and really give them the best possible tools and to be able to perform at their best. So we're going to hear from those guys coming up here in just a few minutes. In hour number 2, we have a conversation with Jonathan Bateman, the Assistant AD for NIL Strategy and Governance here at Nebraska. It's a new position. We announced this back in May. Jonathan had been with the compliance department for over a decade, and then when NIL unfolded, he's kind of in charge a lot of it. He dove in and was handling a lot of it with the compliance staff. We've had Jamie Vaughn on here, the director of compliance, who really raved about what Jonathan had done. Jazz Shelley talked a lot about his role and her helping navigate NIL, being a foreign student athlete. And so we've had a lot of questions that come in on our text line and on our YouTube chat about NIL. And I feel like it's part of every single conversation that we have in terms of college athletics these days and recruiting and the transfer portal. Seems like there's some sort of NIL involvement. So we're going to have him in here. And it was a lengthy conversation, so it'll be a portion of it. But I tried to ask some of the questions that have been rolling in here and get a few of those answers. But he's awesome and is in this role to kind of help an internal role, which I should have done some more research, but I'm not sure how many university athletics departments have a role like what Jonathan Bateman is. Now, eventually, I think maybe if it does go in-house, you'll have to have it, but continuing to try to be at the forefront of all of this, the NIL landscape is Nebraska and Trev Alberts, and so having someone in place that is designated and that is his role to kind of help navigate from the collectives and the donors and the staff and the coaches, the players, potential incoming recruits, all of that. So it was awesome to chat with him, got a lot of things answered, and so we'll have that coming up here in hour number 2. But wanted to start off this first segment talking volleyball because a huge announcement, really cool announcement in Omaha today. So coming to Omaha in February of 2024, a professional volleyball team. I mean, it's the mecca of volleyball, right here in Nebraska. And so only fitting that a pro volleyball team will be added. It's the Nebraska Pro Volleyball, and it's part of the Pro Volleyball Federation, and announced today that they will play those games inside the CHI Center. And they also announced that Diane Mendenhall would be the president of Nebraska Pro Volleyball. She worked 20 years here at Nebraska, and in fact, Terry Pettit had a quote in the announcement on Diane and her role as president. Diane Mendenhall is a spectacular choice for president of the new professional volleyball franchise in Omaha. Her experience as a volleyball coach, as director of operations with Husker volleyball program, and head of development for the Nebraska Athletic Department gives her the knowledge base and the professional relationships to position Omaha as a leader in professional sports. So really cool there, and a great opportunity for these athletes. I mean, we've talked a lot about the growing women's sports, and not just in college, but for what these athletes want to do when they're done. And there's not a lot of opportunities for women's professional athletes to go play professional sports, but also to have much money earning it. You know, we talk about equal pay and all of that. So a tremendous opportunity for some of these athletes. They go overseas, and it's not easy. We've had some conversations with some basketball players about it's not an easy lifestyle to go over there and then come back and go back and forth. But if you wanted to play professional basketball for a long time, and even to supplement a lot of WNBA players, their salaries aren't enough to live on, and so they'll supplement that by going to play overseas. And so again, here adding now a volleyball professional league in the United States. There's the WNBA continues to grow, and then the professional softball. There's a couple of different leagues there, but I did notice they're playing a couple games inside the Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, and it was a packed house. And so, you know, the fact that all 3 of those professional sports are going to continue to grow and provide these opportunities for these female athletes is just awesome. I love it, and hopefully continue to see that growth. But there's 16 cities that have been announced so far, in addition to Omaha, Atlanta, San Diego, Orlando, Grand Rapids, Columbus. And so no doubt about it, just with the caliber of athletes that come through Nebraska volleyball, we're going to get to see some former Huskers playing on the Nebraska team, I'm sure, but also on teams across the country as well. So I'm so excited, and I know a lot of these women were really hoping for eventually to have these kinds of opportunities in addition to playing for Team USA or overseas. So really, really cool there. And if you want more information on any of that, neprovb.com. So nebraskaprovolleyball.com. I just Googled Nebraska Pro Volleyball, and all that information is there. But really cool opportunity for the state, because we know that Nebraskans will pack sports houses no matter what the sport is. It's a great place to have sporting events, any kind of sport. And then for it to be volleyball on top of that, could not have picked a better spot to have that team and to implement that here. Also wanted to get to this too, because if you missed it or haven't been on social media today, Nebraska Volleyball put out this really cool video. When they were in Brazil, the team was able to deliver underprivileged kids in Brazil some gear thanks to Adidas. And Husker volleyball players went out and distributed this gear. So I wanted to play this video for you. You're going to hear from Allie Batenhorst, Kennedy Orr, and Lexi Rodriguez.
Hey guys, as you guys know, we recently just traveled to Brazil, and we had the awesome opportunity to hang out with so many kids in the community and spend time with them and play so much volleyball with them.
Adidas was kind enough to donate clothing to the kids we met in Brazil. Opportunities like this are so fun and so important for the sport of volleyball.
We're super thankful for the opportunity we were given and extremely grateful for the generosity that Adidas provided. A huge thanks to them. It's really awesome to see them not just support Husker volleyball, but support women's volleyball all around the world.
Adidas has, we go back to last year when Nicklin Hames signed the big NIL deal in addition to some other women's sports athletes, and how big that was. And for them to do that, really cool. I reached out to see kind of how that came about, but yeah, they were able to go out and spend some time. So you talk about the team as a whole getting to do so many things on a trip like this. They played a lot of great competition and bonded in certain ways, but then to go and be able to give back in that kind of way, really cool, and really cool for Adidas to be able to do that as well. All right, we're going to work in our first break a little earlier here today because we do have a couple of lengthy conversations coming up for you. But if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400, the number to call or text in. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond Natural Mineral Salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. University of Nebraska leadership has launched a $3 billion fundraising campaign to support education access for Nebraska students. The Only in Nebraska campaign, the largest in university history, will focus on creating scholarships to make education more affordable, attracting more Nebraska students, and keeping young people in the state after graduation.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic. Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back into Sports Nightly on this Thursday evening. It's our final live show of the week. Coming out tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning, we'll be putting out our latest installment of the Husker Nutrition Podcast. And over the next few weeks throughout July, leading into fall camp, we're going to be talking to the nutritionists, dietitians on staff here that are here to help these teams and coaches get prepared for competition and all of that. So we have different folks in here each week. And so coming up tonight, or here tonight, will be Matt Matzner and Ron Luth. So Matt works with track and field, swimming and diving, and then helps out with some of the other sports as well. Ron works with wrestling and women's basketball. And this is absolutely a fascinating conversation. We dove into the wrestling part of it and how you manage fueling and food and rehydrating with wrestling when you're trying to cut weight. But it was a long conversation, so this is only a portion of it. But here is Matt and Ron, and we start with them both being Nebraska kids and being able to come work for the Husker Nutrition Department.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ron can probably attest to this too. I think if you ask the question again, why we're here, I think, we got really lucky to be born about an hour away or however far Ron was born from the stadium, you know, because there's a lot of other people in this profession that are really jealous of just our geographical location of where we grew up, just because we were so close to Memorial Stadium. And you're exactly right. You know, we were really the first collegiate professional sports team to really, you know, do it in a big way. Not that other people weren't, you know, blended up protein shakes out of a closet in the strength and conditioning room, but you know, we were the first to really invest, and that's obviously very clear. If you're walking around the stadium, if you throw a rock, you'll hit about 5 sports dietitians around here. So it's really unique. We're really thankful to be here and have the resources that we have, and everybody takes it seriously. It's just so integrated into everything we do here, and you don't feel like you have to punch up here to get people to take nutrition seriously, and it's not that way everywhere else. So I mean,
it'll also be awesome to see the new facility coming in. So we'll get a brand new training table here soon. So to know the history and then to be a part of the next chapter, moving into a new training table, will be awesome.
Well, you guys are here to talk to us a little bit about pre and post workout nutrition. And so I guess first of all, the importance, how important are both of those? So the pre and the post. You're on post, right? And you're on pre. So let's start with pre. How important is the pre?
I think you could say it sets the table for maybe a single training session, but one of the things you don't want to get lost when you're talking about pre-workout nutrition is that it's only about what you do immediately before, because it really depends upon your nutritional status and what you were doing 4, 6, 8 hours before that. Our athletes aren't one-a-day athletes by and large. They have a couple days a week. They might only have a training session once per day, but by and large, multiple times per week. They either have like a lift in the morning and practice in the afternoon. But I guess, you know, to really talk about pre-workout or pre-training nutrition, I think a lot of people, when they hear that term pre-workout, they think of supplementation, right? That's where a lot of people's mind it wanders, and I get it, rightfully so. And dietary supplements definitely can enhance athletic performance if it's the right substance in the right amount and it's a safe product from a great source. But that's not going to replace proper nutrition throughout the day and quality sleep and those recovery mechanisms. And so that's what we, you know, our mission of our nutrition department is fueling Huskers. So we have a food-first mentality or philosophy when it comes to that. I think most good performance dietitians will tell you that. I have yet to run into one that doesn't say they have a food-first philosophy. And there's a number of things. I think establishing routines is a big one that a lot of people wouldn't think about, right? They want to think about, oh, what food are you getting? Well, we want to establish a routine. We have macronutrient concerns within the foodstuffs we're giving people, and then we're also obviously concerned about hydration. And so to, I guess, get into the first one, you know, we really want to help athletes dial in what they're doing, because when they get into competition, we don't want them really spending any mental energy on what they're going to be fueling with. We want to have that dialed in. We don't want that to be a care in the world. We want 100% of their focus to be on their sport and their competition, right? That's tough enough as it is. So we're trying to kind of get out of their way while also enhancing their performance, right? Fueling for performance is much different than fueling for health, right? Would I tell a lot of people to eat gummy bears and Gatorade on a daily basis? You know, I'm not going to tell my mom to do that unless she's about to go hit a workout or something. But we want more simple carbohydrates once we get closer to competition or training. So when we're, an hour plus out from training, that's when you're going to be having your more full meals. Hopefully, if you can time it right, 2 to 4 hours before a competition or a practice, you'd be getting a full meal. And then once you creep into that 90 minutes to 30 minutes before you go, then you're just topping off your fuel stores with carbohydrate. That's kind of what we're looking to do there. And so you'll go from a more complex fueling perspective. So you'll see things on there like maybe a bagel with like a nut butter, banana nut butter, some yogurt, things of that nature. maybe some whole wheat bread 90 minutes out, something like that. But that's going to shift. Once we get closer to that 30 minutes, or really any time we get a little bit closer to really turning it on and going, we're going to start going with some like sports drinks, energy chews, applesauce, fruit cups, low fiber fruit drinks, stuff like that. Something that's going to boost up their carbohydrate stores and get through them and through the gut rather quickly without disturbing it too much. And the three things what you're really starting to stay away from as you get closer to training is fat, fiber, and protein. We want that on our meals and for recovery, but right before you're about to go, I don't think anybody wants to eat like Chipotle or something, right? It's not going to sit well. So just think of that context. You know, anytime you have something that's a little bit fattier, a little bit more fibrous, and a little bit more protein, it's probably not going to serve you best right before you go train.
Fascinating. Okay, and the importance of the post.
Yeah, so Matt mentioned that the collegiate athletes, they'll usually they could lift in the morning and then practice in the afternoon. So they want to refuel for their next bout of energy. At Nebraska, we follow a three-step method. The first one, and it lines up with our training table too. So the first one is building immunity, reducing inflammation. So you create inflammation when you're lifting, practicing. You want to consume things like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds. So when they first walk into the training table after they check in, there's fresh fruit and frozen fruit if they want just to put some fresh fruit in a bowl, or if they want to make a smoothie or a shake. And then there's two different salad bars. One's just like a regular salad bar you would see at a buffet with different types of lettuce and toppings, and the other one is kind of like a cold prep. So we try to repurpose things from the day before, 2 days before, and make it into something else that tastes good and to reduce waste. And the next thing, when you're practicing or you're lifting, you're burning carbohydrates, the main source of energy for our bodies. So refueling with carbohydrates is a second step. It can also help a little bit. It may be able to help with the absorption rate of protein, which would be the third step, repairing your muscles with protein. When you're lifting or practicing, you're breaking down your muscles, you want to repair them. And so it's lined up just like that at the training table. After the fruits and the vegetables, then there's carbohydrate sources, a variety of them, and then protein sources from leanest to fattiest. Fattiest being like a fried chicken sandwich or chicken strips. And then today our leanest one was a salmon, which we usually either have on the line or over kind of on the side by the burger bar. There might be some lean steak, grilled chicken, salmon, different types of fish, along with recovery, nutrition, hydration. I know Jake, one of my colleagues, already touched on that, but when you're sweating, you're losing fluid, you're losing electrolytes. So also replenishing those is really important, because you're gonna go out and have a practice later that afternoon, or you're gonna lift in the afternoon, and you don't want to cramp up or go into it dehydrated.
Okay, so and then for obviously our friends at Midwest Dairy, where does the dairy part of it fit into this for all that we've been discussing?
Absolutely. So it fits in every aspect essentially of recovery nutrition. So chocolate milk is, in my personal opinion, the best post-workout or practice recovery option.
That's been brought up twice now.
It has carbohydrates.
Okay.
It has protein. It has sodium.
Yeah,
it helps you rehydrate. It has
a great mix
it's a fluid.
of nutrients. You know, there's a lot of calcium, which a lot of our athletes need, especially our female athletes who are really high energy outputters. We can have some degradation of their bones, you know, if they're really getting after it. And so, you know, if we can sneak dairy into just about almost every meal, aside from right before we compete, we really like to encourage that because of all the different nutrients it offers. It's a high-quality protein, that has a good amount of branch chains. It helps us pack on muscle or maintain muscle, and things like that are very important. You know, if we could get 3 to 6 servings of dairy in per day with our athletes, that'd be, you know, all of our athletes, that'd be pretty great.
Last thing I got, I mean, is just, you covered a lot of information, and yet there's a lot of athletes that, like you said, are wired differently. They might not like some of this stuff. You might have different allergies. So how important is just the overall kind of what's in place here at Nebraska that you guys can really tend to the needs and kind of wants of each individual athlete, so you can tailor it so much because you guys have your certain sports and then you get to know them and what works best for each individual sport and athlete. I mean, how beneficial is that for just an overall athletics department?
Oh, I mean, I think it starts with our training table. You know, our training table is just, I think it's the crown jewel of all of college sports. And I really mean that. And it's unique because we operate it. We don't have a third-party vendor coming in, and we're not working with them to operate it. Those chefs and all of our great workers down at the training table, they're on staff here. They're not, you know, employed by somebody else, and we're just trying to make it work. And so they're in our staff meetings. You know, I'm sitting right next to the chef, you know, every week at staff meetings, and we're able to really pivot, you know, at the drop of a hat if we need something specific, or if we need an ask for one of our sports because we want to do something different because it's a certain time of the season, or if we need to, you know, get in some like spices that are like low sodium for wrestlers or something like that. It's not even a question. It just gets done here. So if we need it, and that's what I mean, where it's just like we're not punching up here. It's just sports nutrition is just in everything we do around here. So it's so integral that our training table is done so well here because it helps us cater to our athletes so much.
And the amount of dietitians that we have here on staff is really helpful. You know, working with just women's basketball and wrestling, being able to be at their practices, lifts, at training table, and really tend to them just by being around them and asking questions and establishing rapport, getting to know them.
Again, that was Ron Luth and Matt Matzner. I was talking with the women's basketball staff about some other things we're working on, and they said that they love working with Ron, that he does such a great job with them. But that full conversation will be out first thing tomorrow morning on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel, and all of our podcast audio platforms, wherever you listen there, so you can tune in and listen to that full episode there. So chocolate milk. Cole, are you a big fan of chocolate milk?
Huge fan of chocolate milk.
Okay, so we've now had 2 episodes, and unsolicited, they have brought up chocolate milk for different beneficial reasons, right? I was not a big, like, just straight milk drinker, but I loved chocolate milk when I was little. And my parents always loved to tell a story about I couldn't say chocolate, and so I called it conky milk. And so I would always ask, and so everyone always calls it that around my house. And so it's kind of, I guess I had to be like 2 or 3 years. I don't remember it, but they always like to keep bringing that up every time chocolate milk comes into the conversation. So if they've been listening to these podcasts, like I hope a supported family is, they're going to be thinking about calling me and giving me a hard time about not being able to say chocolate milk. But appreciate Midwest Dairy, local farm families who are helping make this podcast series possible over the next few weeks here on our summer podcast series on the Huskers Radio Network. Late night studying, intense practice, cramming for that big test. Take a moment to reset yourself with dairy. Dairy foods like milk and yogurt allow you to stay in the game with immunity-boosting nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin D, zinc, and protein to keep you fueled without the crash. Trusted by athletes and supported by science. A message from Midwest Dairy and your local farm families. Back with more on Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com. Member FDIC.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Honk if you love trucks and bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. Visit any Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds, 1 in 336,000. Got a text on the text line from Carla that had a suggestion about when the next time we do a sit down with one of the dietitians to ask about what competitive eating does to the longevity and the health. I can't read it from here. My contacts are blurry, but just the competitive eating, how that affects individuals for the long term, their liver, all of that digestive system. So I will ask. I will definitely get that ask and pass that information along. Cole, I hope you are taking good notes because you have a big performance coming up on Sunday. So you're talking about fueling and the pre-meal, the pre-performance meal. I hope you are taking some good notes.
I've got it all planned out, Jessica. We're going to do a pasta dinner Saturday night, get carb loaded, and then maybe like a Gatorade protein bar the morning of, just like he was saying. Don't want anything heavy or anything too starchy, and then just a good meal afterwards.
I'm glad. We needed you to be at your best, and I still have not got any suggestions. So if you're listening in, I need you to challenge Cole at whatever you think he should run the 5K in. We need a good number for him to strive to do. I've already told him if you're going to run this thing, you cannot you got to try to push for first. You got to have a good performance. You cannot embarrass us. So I'll be out there with the camera. I'll make sure I video it, and we'll have a full report coming up for you on Monday when Greg gets back. I'm sure he'll have a lot of fun with that. But we're talking about the 11th annual Nebraska Football Road Race. We've talked a lot about it over the last several weeks, but it is this Sunday. It is finally almost here, and so you can still sign up, be a part of it. It is a great opportunity to get to know and interact the football players. One of the best opportunities to get to do that because everyone's kind of hanging out and they love to chit chat and talk to the kids and all of that. So it's a really cool event, and it goes to a great cause. All the proceeds go to pediatric brain cancer research right here in the state of Nebraska. So sign up. Huskers.com/road race. I believe they still will take walk up if you decide last minute to go on Sunday, but you can still get signed up for that and see if you can beat Cole in the 5K. And I've already been asked. I'm not running. I'm just going to be there for support and to do interviews. But I will definitely have all kinds of documentation and a full report coming up for you on Monday. Cole, so we've had all these conversations, right, with the nutrition staff, and I really tried to take it to heart, right? It's one thing to be told you need to eat breakfast. You need to eat before you do something. Going back to Brett Haskell when she was in here with Coach Rule and talking about the need for sleep. And you say, oh, you need to sleep 8 hours. But to hear her actually dive into it. So sometimes I'm in such a hurry and I'll just leave and I'll just grab a snack from the vending machine or whatever and then eat late or whatever. But I've been really trying to be really good about not doing that and eating because it really makes sense when these experts are breaking it down and putting it in just clear, concise, hey, this is why you need to do this. It's going to make you perform better. Oh, okay. I need to be better at it too, even though I'm not going out there and playing a football game or running a 5K. I've been really trying to take what they've been telling us in these episodes to heart.
I think it is cool that although they work directly with athletes, a lot of what they're teaching is very applicable for average adults and kids. It's all something we can take from and build a better life on top of it.
Carla also added on that note, I really enjoy the nutrition segments, very educational and interesting. Wish they offered educational opportunities for general public. Yeah, I think that's kind of where the idea came from Midwest Dairy and trying to make sure that, yes, we're talking about the resources that are provided for Husker student athletes, but I think there's a lot of good information there that we, the regular people that aren't competing in collegiate athletics, can also take away from. And it makes a huge difference when you eat breakfast in the morning. Because I'm not a breakfast person, but I've been really trying to do that. I've been trying to sleep more. And it's amazing when you do the things that you're supposed to do, that these experts in their fields tell you to do. They know it for a reason. They tell you to do it for a reason. They're not just wasting their breath. But so I've noticed a difference in some of the things that I've implemented and the habits that I've been trying to take away from what they've talked about. And we've got a lot of cool information coming up. We've got 3 more episodes left. We're going to try to get Kristen Coggan in with Nebraska football, the director of nutrition for Nebraska football. She was a hit the last time she was in here. Really loved talking to her. We got a couple more episodes and all the different things. There's so many things that go into it, right? It's not just, hey, eat this, but and the training table is remarkable. All the things that are available for student athletes and not just for the football team, which is where a lot of collegiate athletics departments it'll have, the football team will have a place, but it's for all of student athletes here, and it's the Mecca. And if you go and listen to the full episode tomorrow, Ron and Matt really dive into that and how they were kids growing up in Nebraska and seeing that they were athletes and kind of were getting into that a little bit and seeing that Nebraska was the first and did it best from the start. They kind of been at the forefront of everything in terms of nutrition. And so it's if you work in sports nutrition, this is where you want to work. And so it's been fascinating to hear that and how much it plays into recruiting. And, I have a lot of recruits that come in here and sit down and they make note of going to visit the nutrition staff and the training table and all the things that are available there to help them reach their goal weight, to lose weight, whatever it might be, to trim down, to put on more muscle, whatever it might be. And so it's a big part. And you heard Lisa Kopecky say a couple weeks ago that moms and dads want to know that their kids are being taken care of. So it's a huge recruiting tool on that note as well. So I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have too. At least Carla has. So we appreciate you guys listening. And again, that full episode will be out tomorrow. I'm going to work in another break here on Sports Nightly. We're going to be back with our final segment of hour number 1. Right now, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel, from gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hello, tomorrow. We may not know exactly what you've got in store for us, for our routines and our normals. But here's the thing. Turns out, we've got this. We haven't seen everything, but we have seen ourselves be more ready for whatever you bring than we thought we would be. So when it comes to tomorrow, bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Visit us at firstinterstate.com.
farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
To Hogemeyer, local means something greater. Raised local, raised right here in Husker Nation. Learn more at therightseed.com. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. Cole, the suggestions are rolling in. Art in Los Angeles says, like to hear that Cole runs the race under 1 hour. Jessica, please put the video of Cole doing the race up on YouTube, GBR. I'm trying to talk him into live streaming it on our YouTube channel and letting him have a GoPro or something, but I don't know if we're going to get that done. But an hour, that's too long. Listen, I've got some more suggestions for you. Dry says average time for a man in his 20s is 30 minutes. If he can do it in under 28 minutes, that's a victory. And then Children of the Corn said 27:11. Crypto said run it under 30 minutes. 28:30 from Husker in Hanover. Ethan Weiss said I'll go with 27:47, just a crapshoot. And so Crypto just says Cole will run it in 30 minutes or less because he looks like a runner. That's why I sponsored him. Shout out to Crypto King. He's the one that made this possible. He did pay for your entry fee. So, all right. How, do you feel comfortable with any of those?
I think 20. I mean, I appreciate all the feedback and responses on it. First of all, it's kind of like a Vegas sportsbook odds for my time. I think under 28 is a reasonable goal. I feel confident that I can hit that. I really don't know because I haven't ran in a while.
Okay.
I feel confident in under sub 28.
All right. So I should set the over under then at 27:54. How about that?
That sounds good to me.
So you taking everybody listening in, you taking the over or the under? Sam in Omaha, 29 minutes, 3 seconds, including chugging a beer at the end. So, hey, that's what you do, right, after you run a 5K. I told him, I said, you better not push too hard and then need someone. We heard the story about Ethan Piper carrying Mason. That's cute because Mason was a young kid running the 5K and needed a little bit of help. But I do not want to see a football player having to help you, assist you across the finish line.
I feel like a beer at the end would go a little bit against what Matt and Ron were just talking about. But
you don't think that's a good post-fueling meal?
I don't think
beer?
so.
It's got some carbohydrates, right? Refuel, maybe some salt. I don't know. I think we could probably find something that could help in that. I was informed that we've had Chief Borders on here as part of the leadership team, and we were joking about him having the starter's gun. It's always kind of a fun deal, and whoever has a starter's gun to start the races. And I said, please tell me Chief is not going to have responsibility of the starter's gun. And Kate Frazier said, no, I don't think so. Well, I think he talked her into it because Chief Borders will be the guy that is starting the race on Sunday. So he will be the guy giving all the motivational speeches. But it's funny because each guy that's come in here, I've asked him, and he said they all said that Chief would be the best guy for the job. So you can get a little motivational speech by Chief Borders, Cole, and then I'll try to give you a pep talk. I'm not really good at that, but I'll try my best.
all I need is a post-race interview, and I'll feel like a pro athlete. I'll be complete.
Yeah. You're supposed to be helping me get the interview, so I'm going to need somebody else to hold the camera if I'm going to interview you. Camden, over or under on 27:53? Under. All right. Under 27:53. Well, we will have a full report, and can't wait for that on Monday. All right. We have all kinds of silliness here. Still in hour number 2. We got a lot to get to, including all things NIL talk with Jonathan Bateman. He is the assistant AD for NIL strategy and governance. That's coming up here next in hour number 2. Keep it here on Sports Nightly and buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Last night at the annual ESPY Awards, LeBron James took to the stage, confirming his return for his 21st season in the league. James stated that he doesn't care how many more points he scores or what he can or cannot do on the floor. The leading scorer went on to distance himself from his prior wish to play on the same NBA team as his children, saying, quote, "They're on their own basketball journey, and no matter how far they choose to go, they're not cheating the game, and that inspires me," end quote. The troubles at Northwestern University continue as, after firing head football coach Pat Fitzgerald on Monday, just within this past hour, they fired baseball coach Jim Foster after he spent one season with the team. The decision comes in the wake of allegations corroborated by 9 members of the Northwestern program that Foster, quote, "broke the spirit of the team by creating an environment riddled with his, quote, abusive behavior." Turning towards happenings in Nebraska athletics, a total of 35 members of the NU track and field team have received USTF CCCA all-academic honors for the 22-23 season. Additionally, both teams received the award with at least a 3.0 cumulative team GPA. The women posted a 3.62 GPA, while the men carried a 3.26 GPA this past year. All of the aforementioned athletes honored can be found on Huskers.com. And finally, in the NBA Summer League today, some finals from earlier. The Cavs held on against the Bulls 87-83. The Hawks just outlasted the 76ers 99-98. The Nets bested the Raptors in OT by a score of 99-94. And the Heat topped the Bucks 91-72. Currently in action, the Rockets are up on the Warriors 30-29 at the end of the first. And the Pelicans are way up on the Hornets 21-5 late in the first. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon step throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to
baby.
The 35, to the 30. Rope tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Yes!
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's 2nd sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back, hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. NIL. Think about how much that comes up in conversation these days when we're talking about college athletics and how big of a part it is now in recruiting and transfer portal and all of the above. And it changes from week to week. And there's so much new news that comes out and to stay up with it and everything that's changing and the things that are trying to be put in place to maybe make it more equal for conferences and teams and programs and all of that. And it is hard for us to stay up with all of that. And we get a lot of questions that come in on any given night that ask about NIL that we just don't know the answer to here, Greg and I. So we decided to bring in an expert, Jonathan Bateman, who has been with Nebraska Athletics and worked in the compliance department for over a decade. But back in May, he was named the Assistant AD for NIL Strategy and Governance. And this was a big thing for Trev Alberts to have somebody that was internal within the athletics department helping us navigate NIL and helping the teams and the administration and everybody navigate everything that's, again, this ever-changing landscape of NIL. But I asked him, kind of starting off, how he first got interested in NIL, because throughout the last couple of years since NIL has been implemented. Jamie Vaughn, who's the director of compliance, has really bragged on Jonathan and really spoke highly of the job that he's done helping student athletes. And then we've heard Jazz Shelley really talk about the help that he's done with her helping to navigate being a Fordham student athlete. So I started off just by asking how he first got interested in NIL.
First got here in 2011, I was working with a student athlete, and they said, hey, they wanted to do a lawn mowing business. And they were like, I'm going to have my name on it and say I'm a football player and like have their number. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. Like, great, you know. Then I started looking into the NCAA rules and found out pretty quickly not permissible to do that without a waiver. So, you know, that was really my first introduction into NIL, and it's always been something that I've really been interested in. It has its roots in amateurism and just have kind of followed it along the way. Well, then July 2021 happened, and we needed someone to kind of pick up the ball a little bit, and it came to our office. So Jamie and I worked on it a lot, the day-to-day, and then it's really exploded into something that we and Trev believe that we needed to have someone on it on a daily basis. So thankful that he entrusted me to do that, and thankful to the rest of exec staff, but also thankful for Jamie to not say, no, you need to stay in compliance. So yeah, so really it's always been an interest to me. And the bigger part is like, it's helping the student athletes, you know, and NIL, there's a lot of headlines and there's a lot of misnomers what it is and what it isn't, but it really is another tool for the student athletes to separate themselves, not only now in college, but for after college. And that's how we view it here. You know, I'm down right next to life skills and compliance and academics and nutrition. And those are all the folks who are kind of working behind the scenes for our student athletes for their resource. So that's kind of my vision of it. And I think that works really well with our vision as well for the whole department.
And Travis talked a lot about this, and he said in meetings just the importance of having someone internally that's helping us navigate, because it's ever changing, and how many times we've just seen different tweaks and changes to the laws, and it's been an ever-changing kind of landscape for over the last 2 years. So how did those conversations evolve where he starts coming to you like, hey, what do you think about a position like this?
Yeah, so, you know, it kind of started out just as thrown out there, like, hey, we should maybe think about having someone be in charge of this, and just kind of as a day-to-day, because I was kind of doing it as, hey, my normal job assignments, but also, hey, did anybody see this? What do you guys think of this? And, you know, I'm doing it, looking at it anyway. So we really got to the point where we thought, you know, NIL's not going anywhere. And for us to be strategic and on front of it as much as we want to be, someone needs to be doing it every day. So a lot of it for me is just keeping tabs and a pulse of what's going on nationwide. You know, start every morning, like a lot of people in athletics, looking at the ticker and reading, okay, what happened overnight? And then at the end of the day, okay, where are we at? Where's the landscape? And if something reaches to a certain level where I'm like, okay, this is one I need to forward on, I reach out to exec staff, or, you know, we have an NIL committee of folks here from licensing and marketing and life skills in our GC's office, and I'll say, hey, guys, this is probably something we need to think about. So that's a lot of it is maybe not keeping up with the Joneses, but at least trying to figure out what the Joneses are doing.
Right. I know it's a huge part of recruiting, right? You can't really talk about recruiting or the transfer portal without somehow NIL being connected to it. So when parents or student athletes come in, what's the number one question that they have for you?
Yeah, well, you know, early on, because we are still pretty new in this, it depends on the recruits too. You know, some might have an idea of what's going on. Transfer's a little bit more sophisticated. You know, they've been in college, they understand it, they understand how it goes pretty much. But really what the parents want is, hey, what is the support system and resources you're gonna have in Nebraska to help my son or daughter? You know, that's a big part. And two, you know, they're like, hey, what have some other student athletes done here? Like, can you give me some examples of deals they've gotten? You know, so I know kind of where, like, what could I have a chance to do if I come to Nebraska? So that's where we stay a lot of its resources, its, you know, potential opportunities, just by examples of what people have done in the past.
when you hear sometimes now, a lot of times you're hearing some of these big time people that are in the portal or what big time recruit. Oh, it's going to take this much NIL money, $300,000 to get this recruit, or $800,000. That still has to be tracked, right? It's not like they're just getting a handout of $300,000, right?
Yeah. So the big thing about NIL is you can be paid. You have to do something for the being paid. I mean, and that is, that's been the case since the beginning of time with the NCAA as it relates to work. Is you can be paid, it just can't be a no-show job. So you have to do something for that payment. Now, the tricky part comes in is, what is market value for that, right? And the market is setting itself right now. As we're sitting here talking, and it's been setting itself for the last 2 years about, how much should a student athlete be paid, but it's really tough to nail down because each student athlete is different. Different sports, different positions, different backgrounds, different hometown they're from, different in the community, different academically. So all those things go in to what the individual valuation of a student athlete is. So that's kind of where it's tricky to kind of lock that down.
So, and when another big topic too is a little on that note is at one point maybe, and I know there's some cases out there that are going through this, but will student athletes eventually be where the athletics department are paying them directly, like they're just paid employees? What's kind of the status on that right now? Yeah, I mean, I think the status is everybody's kind of sitting in wait to seeing what happens legally and in the court system. Obviously, Congress is looking at some NIL models, but they're also there was a state law in California that was about revenue share with the student athletes. It's been tabled and it won't be picked up again until summer 2024. But that's not the only state out there that's looking at that type of proposal. So that's something we're thinking about as well. Like if we get into a revenue share model, be it nationally, conference, et cetera, what does that look like for us, and how does that change everything we do here for all of our student athletes? And how do you keep that fair from institution to institution, conference to conference? Yeah, that's a great question too. And a lot of times what that comes down to is, if you're looking at it in a pro model or a semi-pro model, a lot of times that comes down to, collective bargaining with players associations to understand what that looks like. Because if you don't have collective bargaining, you run into the antitrust issues, so obviously which you don't want to have. So that is something, not lose sleep is the wrong word, but that is something I think about a lot, about how that would really work in college athletics. Because, if you look at it from, let's just say the NFL, right, it's all those teams in one league, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You look at it in college, there's different conferences, there's different levels, right? So it's kind of all over the place. So I always ask, like, okay, well, what's the trade association or union or whoever? Would it be for a conference, or would it be each sport? Each sport, exactly. So it does get a little confusing there. Huh. We get a ton of questions. We've gotten a ton of questions on this as well, because this was a big news story recently. The NCAA put out a motto about how basically it doesn't matter what your state's legislation says, you have to follow what the NCAA bylaws and everything that is in place by the NCAA. Mm-hmm. How is that going to work when it's, you have your certain states that have the legislation in place, Arkansas, Texas, but yet it's not necessarily what is in place with the NCAA? Yeah, so really interesting to look at. One thing we're keeping a really close eye on what's happening in those other states that just recently changed their state laws, and to seeing how they operate, be it Texas, Missouri, New York is another one, but some other states, I know, I believe Arkansas has done that months ago. So, we're keeping a pretty close eye there. One thing I can tell you, we're always monitoring our own policies. We're looking at our own state law to say, hey, is there some things that might allow us to be a little bit more advantageous in this space? So that's something we're keeping an eye on too. I kind of have a checklist of things I check every day of, hey, where are we at as it relates to, these 6 or 7 things. One thing Trev had brought up one time on one of his shows on Sports Nightly about just with the legislation for the states, it's not like you could just say, hey, can you change this law and it happens overnight. It is a long time process. So you want to make sure that when you're going to the changes, the amendments that you need for the NIL laws, that you have everything in place, because it's kind of an arms race a little bit at this point.
It is. You know, in it used to be facilities and now it's NIL. It relates to the arm race, but you know, the 6 minutes in NIL world, you know, might as well be six months. You know, it's just way different where we're at. So always kind of talking with our government relations folks to say like, hey, you know, if we were wanting to do something, or what's the appetite for this, you know, but we're also talking to other folks in the state too about other schools of, hey, you know, this would be a state law for everybody. You know, so we're trying to keep understanding what their thoughts are too.
Some people that might be listening might fully understand it. Some people might not. So could you maybe dive into collectives a little bit and what their relationship is with the university? Yeah. So we have a couple collectives in the space. We have the 1890 Initiative and the Big Red Collaborative. You know, when we're going through right now, working with both groups, trying to figure out where everybody's strengths lie, you know, to see, hey, you know, where everybody's the best at to help our student athletes in their space. Because, you know, even though we're 2 years in, there's certain things that our collectives can do that we can't as a university. We can help educate, we can give best practices, we can talk about, hey, this is what the market is, but we can't do it ourselves, right? So that's kind of where collectives fit in, and we have a great relationship with those folks there. But the other thing is, you know, in NIL, it's kind of, it's not a one-size-fits-all, right? Some on NIL is really straightforward. Our fans can go into Open Doors, and they can, who's a great partner of ours, and they can say, hey, I want to hire this student athlete to do a video message for my daughter. One-on-one, easy, very easy. Some fans say, you know what, I have my own company, I know this individual, I'm gonna hire them, and then I'll report it to Jonathan. Great, very easy. We have some fans who are like, you know what, I wanna support an NIL, I don't have a birthday that I want someone to celebrate, I don't have an appearance, I don't really want an autograph, I just wanna provide money for NIL. So you can provide it to a collective, and then they can help find activities for the student athletes to do and then be paid for. You know, so it's kind of it's the sum of all the money coming to one location, and then they help with our student athletes, making sure they're appearing at the events, they're getting paid, they're doing what they're supposed to, educating on taxes, financial literacy, and all those things, because it just doesn't stop with getting payment for the activity. You know, we believe in a holistic approach where they're learning a lot of things. What's the number one challenge in navigating and dealing with the NIL in your role?
I would say the unknown. The unknown is probably the most difficult. But that's with any profession, any job, I think, is just not knowing what's coming next. Because if you know what's going to happen, you can have a plan, but it's like that Mike Tyson quote, right? Like, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face. It's kind of like, NIL is kind of like that a little bit. You know, it's like, oh, I think everything is going great. Well, then one state changes their law, or one memo comes out from the NCAA, or one lawsuit is filed, and you're like, okay, well, that last week's work that I put together with our model for year X, well, we're going to scrap that. You know, and you just have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with, you know, hey, we're planning for what I know now with the best knowledge I have.
So that was the biggest challenge. What's the biggest reward? What's the number one reward? Just
seeing the student athlete succeed. Easy. I mean, that just seeing them succeed in a space and take advantage of a space that their predecessors weren't able to participate in is definitely the biggest reward. And that's been great to see. They're able to you know, save money for themselves, set themselves up to succeed financially after college, help out their families, help out their local communities. You know, that's for sure been the best thing.
How many times have you had student athletes come back and say, well, why couldn't you make this happen when I was a student athlete?
Every week. Yeah, it's either text messages or they'll stop by and they're just saying, hey, I was just here on a tour, And then we'll kind of talk pleasantries, getting caught up on family life. And then it's like, so why couldn't I do NIL when I was here? And then the next question is, how much money do you think I would have made when I was here? So, you know, that is always interesting. But I will say, you know, the majority of our former student athletes, they are really happy for our current student athletes and what they're being able to do.
Fantastic conversation. I really appreciate Jonathan Bateman sitting down with us and answering all those questions. That was not even half of the conversation. I really asked him a ton of questions, tried to get in. I had a lot of things that I just wanted to know about. So look for that full interview as soon as the show ends tonight. We'll be posting that on all of our podcast platforms. That last question right there, asking him about when student athletes asked him how much money do you think he would have made, I asked him who he thought, which former athlete that didn't get to do NIL would have had the biggest NIL deals, and he said one of the guys that he mentioned was Kenny Bell. He thought Kenny Bell would be pretty successful in NIL. If you need any further information on anything Huskers NIL, he did give us the website. It is huskers.com/NIL. There's contact info there. There's links, all kinds of stuff. And so if you want further information or have any questions or want to see how you can get involved with NIL here with Nebraska Athletics, huskers.com/NIL. And again, that full conversation will be out as soon as we are off the air coming up tonight. All right, got to get to a break here on Sports Nightly. If you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400, the number to call or text. The Sports Nightly hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of these 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Got a few news items to get to you here. So we left the show last night and we were talking about the ESPYs and that Jordy Ball was nominated for college women's female college athlete of the year. So athlete of the year college for women. I don't know what the exact title of it was, but basically for athlete of the year for women in college athletics. And she was up against Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark was the winner. Wah, wah. And the only thing I could think of, and I know that there's a lot of people disappointed that Jordy did not win that because she was so dominant in the Women's College World Series. But the only thing that I could think of is why Caitlin would get the nod over Jordy is that Jordy, there's a lot of talk that OU softball was one of the most dominant in college softball history, one of the most dominant in women's sports history. I mean, they were being compared to the UConn dynasty when UConn women's basketball was just rolling through competition. And so, that the only thing I can think of is that Jordy, maybe they thought that Jordy had a lot of help being a part of a dominant team. But on that note, too, they also gave away Team of the Year, and Jordy's former team, OU softball, was up for that. It was their three-peat. They had broke a record with how many wins they had won in a row. The Denver Nuggets. There's a lot of teams that were up for that. Kansas City Chiefs won it, and I know there's a lot of Chiefs fans, but man, I thought there were some more deserving teams that they should have given that to. It's not a lot of women's teams have won that award over the years. They've given it to the U.S. women's soccer team a few times, but I thought it was maybe time to spread it out a little bit. But Kansas City Chiefs wins that. But hey, maybe Jordy will be up for an ESPY again in a year and representing Nebraska. She certainly is talented enough to do that. Breaking news while we were in that interview with Jonathan Bateman, officially David Braun is Northwestern's interim head football coach. So I think I talked about this earlier on in the week. They had named him as kind of the person, the go-between that was kind of helping navigate, but he did not have the official interim tag. He now has that official tag. He was hired by Northwestern to be the defensive coordinator back in January, and players had gone to the administration advocating for him to be the interim head coach. So I'm assuming he'll be the guy at media days we'll be hearing from, and then we'll see where the search goes from there. But as of right now, David Braun is the head football coach, interim head football coach for Northwestern. The other thing I wanted to get to on the show today, so talked yesterday about how Big 12 media days were underway, and of course one of the biggest topics have been the addition of the new teams that are coming in and OU, Texas leaving, and this being the last year that Oklahoma and Texas will be competing in the Big 12. And the commissioner, Brett Yormark, was asked yesterday about recruiting and how they're going to be able to pick up the slack with the recruiting that Oklahoma and Texas does. And he came back with the zinger saying, well, neither Oklahoma and or Texas have played in the championship game in the last few years. So I think we'll be all right there. Today, another big quote theory. John Kurtz from Kansas City Sports Network had an interview with the Big 12 Deputy Commissioner, Tim Weiser, and he said, and when he was asked on OU and Texas leaving the league, this is a quote, "I think their decision was more about affiliating with a group of schools they would rather get beat by Alabama than Kansas State or Florida than Iowa State." So they'd rather get beat by Alabama than Kansas State or Florida than Iowa State. I tend to think it probably had a little bit more to do with the money than that. But, yeah, there's some zingers being thrown. I don't know. I am going to be fascinated to see how they're treated. There's a lot of talk, how are they going to be officiated? Are people going to come after them in games and make it difficult? I don't know. Who knows? But it's going to continue to be a storyline there. When I was down in Oklahoma, so Greg and I had talked on the show, it was a couple weeks ago, that Colin Cowherd made news saying that he thought Oklahoma was going to go to the SEC and be the next Nebraska, whatever. And so we had talked about that. While I was in Oklahoma last week, Bob Stoops went on a radio station and kind of went off about that and said it's a lazy narrative and said that it's about recruiting and basically said to me, it was like that the recruiting for Oklahoma is better than the recruiting is for Nebraska, and that they got away from recruiting Texas. Well, now that you're seeing Matt Rule go back into Texas and this coaching staff go back into Texas, they've got 7 commitments in this class that are from the state of Texas. So opening that pipeline back up, recruiting is nationally now. It's a nationwide thing, right? And then he also talked about just kind of the local talent a little bit. To me, is what I took out of it. And I think you can beg to differ that the recruiting in Nebraska is pretty dang good right now. I mean, you're talking about the recruit that just committed, the tight end, the number 1 tight end, that was up against Georgia, the back-to-back defending national champions, and that Nebraska beat out to haul in a tight end. So I think there's some solid talent here in the state of Nebraska. So I kind of disagreed with that a little bit. I also don't think it's about recruiting that could potentially derail Oklahoma. And it's been a few years since I've been there, but I do know that while I was there and Lincoln Riley was the head coach there and the recruiting staff, they were trying to build a recruiting staff that competed. This is before the SEC had even come into the conversation, but that, they were losing some recruits to Texas A&M for years, and they were trying to build a staff that was going to be able to compete better with the Texas A&M recruiting staff. So I think there was like 5 people that were dedicated to recruiting for Oklahoma, and Texas A&M had like 15 or 16. And so to me, it's things like that are going to have to, Oklahoma's going to have to step up on, and Texas as well, to be able to compete with those SEC schools are things like staffing and the resources. And I've told this story on the program before about how the first year when we went back to Norman, I was asked by a coach about the walk-on program here because they just didn't think that they had the bodies that were going to be able to practice day in and day out to be able to prepare to play in the SEC. So I respect the heck out of Bob Stoops. He was great to me while I worked with him at Oklahoma, but I do disagree with the recruiting part of it being the issue. If he's trying to debunk Colin Cowherd on that and being recruiting, I don't think it's that. I think there are certain other things that Oklahoma and Texas are going to have to address to be able to go compete in the SEC. But anyways, just wanted to get my thoughts about that. I had that on my list to talk about the last few days, but it's been so wild. We've had so many things I have not been able to get to it. But I cannot take up any more time rambling here because I've got to save time for Cole's joke of the week. We had to take a break from it last week because Cole was out hiking the Rocky Mountains or something, climbing the Rocky Mountains. So we have got to get to Cole's joke of the week. We'll see if he can duplicate his performance from a couple of weeks ago and not let us down because the first week was abysmal. He was not very good. He rebounded and had a better performance the next week. So we got to see if he can keep it up tonight. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to text in, because get ready, we ask for grades on his jokes. So 402-413-2400, get those texts in on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS, SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. It is that time of the week. We need to somehow maybe put together some sort of nifty intro for this, but it is Cole's Joke of the Week. This was an idea that was brought forth by our fearless leader, Greg Sharpe, the voice of the Huskers. Thought this would be a great idea for us to install, and so we're going to keep it rolling even when he's not here. So Cole's Joke of the Week, this is the third installment of it. He's 1-1 on this deal, so he's batting 500 at this point. We're going to see if you can continue to trend upwards. Get ready to send in your responses of what you rate his joke. Rate the joke from 1 to 10, not A, B, C, D, E. Tim in Minnesota had texted in a couple of times, and he said that he didn't know the rating system. So 1 through 10 for Cole's Joke of the Week. All right, here we go. Drum roll, please.
Jessica, actually, it's some pretty sad news. I had a neighbor who fell off the roof playing peekaboo, and he's doing okay now, but he's in the ICU.
Oh, my. Okay, that's I mean, I don't know. Okay, we'll see. I'll let the people weigh in on that one. All right, folks, let us know what you think. There it is, Cole's Joke of the Week. We do have some other breaking news, and nothing to do with the sports world, but more to do with Huskers Radio Network and the Nebraska Football Road Race. We have another participant that's going to join Cole, thanks to Crypto in our chat. He is sponsoring, he sent some extra money to donate to the Team Jack Foundation, and so we're going to sign up Camden, our new student intern, who's going to be running alongside Cole. So we'll have two representatives from the Huskers Radio Network. And so now the question is not how fast Cole can run, it's can he outrun Camden, because Camden was a track and field and cross-country star. So, Cole, you got some competition that's going on. Are you ready for the competition?
I'm ready. I'm like I said, I have all the hacks with our nutrition team helping me.
All right, we have some responses rolling in here. So let's work in our final break so we can have time to get to all of those here on the other side of this. We'll wrap up the show next. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football Through These Gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of one home Big Ten game. 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of June 2022. Duteau Subaru in Lincoln and DuteauSubaru.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Welcome back. Our final segment of Sports Nightly here on this Thursday evening. I'm Jessica Coody. Well, the responses are rolling in, Cole, for your joke of the week. A little all over the place. So I don't know if this is a win or a loss this week because you got some people like it, some people don't. In fact, Sam in Omaha on our text line said 1. He gave it a 1. I'll no longer be tuning into the show after that. And he responded back, only kidding. But so you got a 1 from Sam in Omaha. Crypto gave you a 9, but he's kind of an internal optimist. He also said Nebraska football is going to win 10 wins last year. So I don't know. So, and then Ethan Bice gave you a 2. Husker and Hanover 2.5. Children of the Corn, that was sneaky funny, Cole, but still only a 6. But if I recall, he's kind of a harsh grader, Children of the Corn, so 6 is kind of good in his book, I think. Dryce gave you a 7. So your thoughts, your responses?
All I can say is I'll be back stronger next week. Feedback, good or bad, is you know, it helps me build towards my future.
You know, you got to build that thick skin and, you know, only makes you stronger, but you learn, you go back and review the film and get better, right?
Yeah, I'll go check out Huddle.
Okay, Tim in Minnesota. I was waiting for him to text in. He gave you a 9.
There we go. Thank you, Tim.
So there you go. All right, and I believe we haven't seen anybody else weigh in on the timing, but you're going to try to go under 28 minutes on Sunday at the Nebraska Football Road Race.
I think Camden and I are both shooting for probably sub 28, so we'll see what happens.
All right, we got a lot of requests for me to put it on somewhere where people can see it. I'll live tweet it on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Jessica Coody. I will try to live tweet it. Have you guys been watching NBA Summer League, but not only just because of the NBA Summer League? I have been fascinated following the Las Vegas Sphere. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh my, it's incredible. Like, it is unbelievable. They've changed it into a basketball in Las Vegas. It's this giant sphere that is in the middle of Las Vegas, and they've had different lights, and I don't know. It's so impressive. I have some stats here. So there's 168,000 speakers, 1.2 million LED lights. So it was a giant basketball. Then they turned it into dribbling basketballs. They've had different designs. It's been really cool. But it says here that it could do over $25 million in annual advertising revenue alone. And they're already building a second one. So you need to go look it up. It's unbelievable.
Is it an arena? Is it covering like an LED panel covering an arena?
I guess.
Wow.
I don't. All I see is it changing from day to day, and it just looks so awesome. I've been obsessed with it.
I'm seeing it now. It does look pretty crazy.
I also did want to get your thoughts. So with Jonathan Bateman being in here, and because you and I have had conversations, and when we've had text messages roll in from fans about NIL and what your kind of big takeaways were, because you were in here when we recorded that.
I think just the big takeaways was just more clarity on kind of how fans support student athletes and what student athletes do in particular to get deals with NIL. It's kind of just seeing how beneficial it can be to them, the support systems that we've built in place, and kind of all that.
Sorry, the text line went away, so I was trying to pull it back up. So while you were talking, so Tim said 8.5, and then he changed his mind and said actually a 9. And then Art in Los Angeles gave you a 5. So they continue to roll in, and again, all over the board. Some people like it, some people do not like it very much. So we will address it again. But yeah, I think that's the big thing and that's what he said, is that the biggest challenges were the unknown, because there is so much unknown, and it's different from state to state. And so, but it's a good thing they have somebody like Jonathan Bateman that is trying to help the Huskers navigate this deal. All right, just got a couple more minutes left. This is the last show of me being solo without Greg. He'll be back in studio on Monday. Our first show that we'll have together, we'll both be in studio in a month. So, but this is our last live show of the week, and we've got another best of coming up for you tomorrow. Cole, what you got lined up for us?
Tomorrow's best of is going to entail a couple of interviews. First, Corey Campbell. I know that one was pretty popular that you had with him just a few weeks back. We'll let the fans listen to that again. Amy Williams, also from earlier this summer. And then in hour 2, we'll go a couple of volleyball players, couple football players. Andy Jackson, both freshmen. Andy Jackson, Caroline Dravicius, and then John Bullock and Thomas Fedoni.
Awesome. We still have one more Husker volleyball newcomer to get to. We will air that next week. Lainey Choboy, we'll hear from her next week. And then got a couple more men's hoops and Darien with women's basketball. So we got a few more left to tackle there as we get to know the Husker newcomers. But yeah, that's been a fun series. The Nebraska volleyball freshmen have been impressive. So we'll look forward to hearing from that. Thank you very much. All right. We just got a minute left. So I want to spend this last minute again, encouraging you guys, if you haven't, to sign up for the Nebraska football road race. Such a great cause, and it's just so near and dear and very important to this football program. And you see generations. We heard Jeremiah talking about it, and he said it's a privilege and an honor to get to be a part of it. And you're going to get to run on Owen Field in honor of Jack's 69-yard run. And so come on out and see the football team, get to know them a little bit, and beat Colin Camden in the race. I'll be out there. Come say hi. And we're going to see how Cole, he's bragged a lot this week. He's set the bar pretty high. We're going to see if he can put his money where his mouth is. But yeah, Huskers.com/road race if you want to sign up before then. And they are going to be taking walk-ups if you decide last minute. So we'll see you out there on Sunday at the road race. And we'll be back here live on Sports Nightly on Monday. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to Camden and Cole. Have a great weekend.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free